Okay, thank you everyone for being here. My name is Nina Jackson. I'm Director of Marketing and Public Relations here at NRG Park. I'm going to start off by tossing it to Bishop James Dixon, who is Chairman of the Board of the Harris County Sports and Convention Corporation. He will give his opening remarks, and then we'll open it up to Q&A. Once we start the Q&A, if you have a question, if you can raise your hand, I'll come to you. If you can give me your name or say your name and your media outlet and then ask your question. Okay, thanks again. Bishop Dixon, over to you.
Thank you, Nina. We appreciate you so very much, and thank you for coordinating this amazing and awesome press event on today. Let me say good afternoon and welcome to all of us to NRG Park, home of the Houston Texans and the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo that's about to kick off. And we're excited about that for 2024. We are so grateful to you all for being here today. And of course, we're announcing today, of course, that NRG is excited to be the host venue for the 2026 FIFA World Cup that's going to happen here at NRG Park in just a few years. Again, my name is James Dixon, Chairman of the Harris County Sports and Convention Corporation. I am joined today by my respected colleagues and admired partners, I must add, Ryan Walsh to my right, who is the CEO of the Sports Corp and NRG Park, Leah Mastaglio, who is the Senior Assistant General Manager of NRG Park to my left, and Chris Canetti, President of the Houston 2026 World Cup Host Committee. Chris, thank you so very much for joining us today. And of course, to my extreme left, Ms. Janice Burke, CEO of the Harris County Houston Sports Authority. Janice, always good to have you here at NRG Park and Stadium. I'd like to thank, of course, the media for being with us today, and a special thank you to Chairwoman Pat Mann-Phillips and Dr. Chris Bowman and our friends at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo for allowing us to encroach upon their setup. This is a sensitive time for the rodeo, so we understand that you are smiling and thank you. Thank you so very much for that. We're so very excited to be days away from the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo event that we all look forward to here in Houston, Harris County. I was told earlier that this is the 50th anniversary of the World Champion Barbecue Kickoff and the 92nd year of the rodeo. And we're excited. Let's just give the rodeo a hand for all that they continue to bring to our city and to our region with these amazing events. This organization has given over more than $6 million to Texas youth, and 600 million. Did I say 6 million? You did. $600 million to Texas youth and throughout our entire city and area. So we are so honored to celebrate their success since 1957. Well, we're so glad to be here today because we are excited about what God is doing. I'm at church, but God is doing here at NRG Park through the capable leadership of our team here on today. And I am really honored to have these colleagues to join us today. NRG Park, as you know, is proud to be the host venue for the 2026 FIFA Cup, the most popular and prestigious sporting event in the world. And the 2026 World Cup promises to be the biggest of them all. And we're excited that Houston Harris County is going to be hosting this grand event. 3 countries, 16 cities, 48 nations, and 104 matches. Is going to be epic. And NRG Park will once again shine on the world stage. FIFA World Cup will bring an untold economic impact to the Harris County Houston region. To put it into perspective, Super Bowl in 2017 was 1 game, 1 week, an economic impact of $347 million. This is 7 games and 5 weeks. 7 games and 5 weeks. And let me just pause to give Chris and his team, Janice and her team, Ryan and his team, that all combine together to bring this, because this is going to be an economic boom for Houston and our region unlike anything we have ever seen. So I think we ought to just applaud this teamwork that's bringing that to Houston and to Harris County. Thank you so very much. Houston has long been a soccer town, just as Chris and his friends at the Houston Dynamo. And NRG Stadium has hosted some of the most exciting teams and games, including the MLS All-Star Game, the Gold Cup, Copa America, Manchester United, Manchester City, Real Madrid, Mexico, Argentina, just to name a few. NRG Stadium will host 7 FIFA World Cup matches, 5 group stage matches, and 2 knockout matches. It would be like having 7 Super Bowls in 20 days. Let me repeat that. This event would be like hosting 7 Super Bowls in 20 days. Truly an incredible experience, and one NRG Park and our staff are uniquely prepared for. As we continue to prepare for 2026, alongside our partners at the host committee and the Sports Authority, we are undergoing some fantastic improvements that will not only prepare us to welcome the world to NRG Park, but also will give the guests and fans of all of our events a world-class experience. The improvements will cover a wide breadth of areas, including operational, mechanical, food and beverage, parking and mobility, as well as sustainability, as well as working with our city and county partners to include some improvements to the streets and sidewalks around NRG Park. We're excited today to have all of these improvements coming, and we're excited of what that's going to mean during the World Cup and even beyond it. Some of the improvements will be seen and some will be experienced. There's too much to do. There's so much to do, but we have a world-class team here at NRG Park, and we are proud to have such dedicated and collaborative partners. There's nothing we cannot do together, and we've proven that in Houston over and over and over again. History will be made in 2026 right here at NRG Park, and we will be ready to be a shining example of excellence that the world will not soon forget. I'd now like to open it up for questions from our media partners. Again, we're so grateful to have all of you here on today. Any questions?
Hey, I'm Matt Young from the Houston Chronicle. I know one of the changes has to be the grass field. I don't know who's best to answer that. I guess the process that is going to take, and is there any chance that it stays long term?
So, yes, we will need to convert the stadium to a grass pitch, and that process will begin probably around May 1st of 2026. To put it in layman's terms, we're going to have one of the greatest grass fields that you could have. This is a requirement for a FIFA World Cup, and we will have a substantial system that's put in place for this grass field. We're going to build it as though it was going to be permanent. However, it's going to have to get taken out at the end, and whether or not a grass surface can exist into the future is certainly not for us to determine. But it's going to be a process that takes about a month to put in, and then we'll give it a little bit of time to settle and be ready for our first match on June 14th.
Thank you. Next question. Feel free.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I guess one of the other things is all the stadiums are being called Houston Stadium, New York Stadium. I don't know if anybody from NRG can speak to what does that mean? Do you cover up the signs, or how does that work?
Well, we certainly want to say thank you to NRG for being a great partner in this and understanding that when you host world-class events, this is not uncommon. In fact, all of the stadiums where the games will be hosted are doing the same thing. It's a requirement. Those details are going to be worked out as to how it happens, but we do know that it's going to transform into Houston stadium for those few days, for those 20 days. But we're excited about that. We want to thank NRG. Janice, you want to comment more?
Yeah, I mean, going way back to the bid process, there's all these things that you work through before you even bid for an event. And so we are super thankful to our corporate community, especially NRG in this case, for stepping up and agreeing even before we put the bid in to help us through this.
All right, there we go. Ubaldo Martinez here with Telemundo Houston. What are some of the things that you guys can do now? I know they're still more than 2 years away, but especially around NRG Park, what kind of renovations need to be done, whether it's at the stadium, whether it's at the arena, to accommodate all the requirements that FIFA has asked, and maybe what are some of the things that need to be done in order for it to be World Cup ready?
Sure, that's a great question, and some of the things obviously the host committee is going to take on, like the pitch and things like that. But there's a lot of things in the course of normal business that we'll do that are certainly in preparation, not only just for World Cup, but certainly a lot of the events that we have at NRG Park. One of the big ones that we're doing is a $34 million project with Johnson Controls. It's a sustainability project, but it also lends itself to some of the operational facets of NRG Park. We're getting some new chillers. We're updating our building automation system and our fire alarm systems. We're replacing all of the lighting throughout NRG Park with LED lighting, as well as some water mitigation issues and things like that that will help make the facilities more efficient, including some modular fan systems that we'll have in the air handling units. Some of the other things that we've done, we've replaced the touchless faucets and flush valves throughout the stadium, in fact, throughout the entire complex. The sports lighting will be expanded to cover, obviously, the size of a soccer pitch, but we were one of the first stadiums in the country to have an all-LED sports lighting system through Musco. We've resurfaced several of our parking lots throughout the facility, as well as some concrete repairs. We just recently upgraded our stadium Wi-Fi system to Wi-Fi 6, which is a vastly improved Wi-Fi performance from a download and an upload capability, so all of our media partners can get their pictures and videos out quicker. We've updated our video management systems. We've updated the control software to our LED ribbon boards that you see around the stadium. We've done a whole lot of other improvements, including upgrading the club and suite seats that we did a couple of years ago, as well as with our food and beverage partner Aramark. We've upgraded all of our concession stands, all of our food and beverage areas. We've improved the points of sale, added a couple of concepts as well that make the speed of service a lot better, as well as the experience for the customer. But all of these things that we're doing, not just in the last few years, but leading up to, are things that are going to be experienced for the World Cup fans and patrons, but also for all of the guests at NRG Park, for our fans at the rodeo, for our fans at the Texans, as well as all the other events we do.
And to add to that, we've been having meetings and technical site visits with FIFA. One is just last month was our latest one, and from all the technical departments that spent the entire day with our team here at NRG Park, the overwhelming comment back was, there's not much more that we need to do. We're ready. The building is very flexible. Our team is very experienced in putting on these large-scale events, and we've been working hand in hand with FIFA and their experts to make sure that NRG Park is able to execute at the highest level.
I think we ought to say, too, that it's a compliment to the work that goes on with our team here on a consistent basis, that NRG Park stays almost ready for just about anything. We don't have to make major adjustments. We are really close to being ready when FIFA comes to say we're interested. When we pursue those, they keep coming back. Why does Houston continue to become the go-to city for world-class sporting events? It's because our operations here are at a high standard all the time, so we don't have to go and reinvent something when there's an opportunity. We can just customize details and be ready on short order. I think that is really worthy of recognition here on today.
And I would just add, it makes my job at the Sports Authority and all of our job there easier, right? Because we hear it over and over with college football playoffs or NCAA when they come in, just how flexible this staff is. They bend over backwards. This building is really unique compared to other buildings that are run around the country. They pump out event after event, and they do it. I don't even know how they do it when they tear down from rodeo, and then 3 days later we're set up for a basketball arena. So this NRG Park and the staff here really help enhance any bid that we go after.
Hi there, Michelle Choi with Channel 11. I had about 3 questions, if you guys can each kind of take turns. First one is just the anticipation and the excitement. If you could talk about the fact that Houston's been awarded 7 games, and I mean 2 years seems like far away, but it's going to come real fast. Just how do you guys feel right now?
Let Chris take that one.
Listen, we couldn't be more excited. This is going to be the largest sporting event in the history of the world, and Houston has the privilege and honor of being one of 16 hosts here in North America to give this experience back to our citizens. And while it's going to be an epic event with 7 matches over the course of 20 days and a fan fest that takes place in our community over the course of the entire tournament, which is about 35 days, there's going to be a great legacy that's left behind in this community as well. And long after the final whistle blows and everybody's gone away, we hope that this FIFA World Cup has helped make Houston a better place to live, in short. But we've got 2 years to get ready. There's a lot of moving parts to this from all different angles, and we've been at this since June of 2022, so it's not like we're just getting started. That June of 2022 is when we were awarded the bid, but 2024 is going to be a very critical year in the planning process. Basically, what people can look for is a lot of the details being finalized over the course of this year, and then 2025 and half of 2026 as an execution period to get everything done. So, yeah, it seems far away, but the clock is definitely ticking, and lots to do in a short period of time.
I'll just add on to that too, Michelle, is that, whether it's the 20 days of the world's largest rodeo, whether it's the best team in the NFL, the Houston Texans, or one of the other 500 events, or the 5.5 million people that we have come through NRG Park every year, this is, not to diminish what the gravity of the World Cup is, this is an event. We have a very professional team here. We treat this as any other event. We're ready for it. We prepare for it every single day that we do. We do have the best team in the industry. I'm convinced of that. And that's evidenced by the many great events, the World Cups, the CFPs, the Final Fours, the Super Bowls that we continue to get at NRG Park.
Now, in our newsroom, we have a huge FIFA World Cup fan. I mean, she and her family apparently travel. I mean, they were in Qatar. They go to see these games. And a question she said that has never been brought up and that she was really curious to find out is, first of all, how is Houston going to handle all the fans that are going to be traveling from out of the country and coming to Houston? And number 2, would you be able to talk about the visa process at all? Because from my understanding, she was explaining, once it's kind of like randomly picked, and if you're selected, your ticket becomes your visa. Is that how it's going to work here in Houston as well?
And I'm sure Chris will go into more details, but let me just say from a high level, remember, this is America's games. So there are 11 U.S. cities. There are cities in Mexico and Canada. And so together, that is something that FIFA is working with Homeland Security. They're working with the White House on now as we speak. They're having regular meetings to talk about getting people across the borders and to each of these cities. So Houston it's as exciting as it is. We are just one city amongst many, and it will be epic.
Yeah, so FIFA's taking the lead on those issues, and we're gonna follow the lead. To Janice's point, as it pertains to transportation, we have a great template here in Houston that's been set forth by all the other great major sporting events that have taken place. This obviously is going to be on a different scale, but we have transportation committees that are being formed with all the key stakeholders, from the airports to Metro to you name it, to rideshare. Coach companies, that when we will build, again, this is one of the things that will come together in 2024, a very robust transportation program, not to just get to people to and from the matches, but around the city to all the different activities and events to and from the airports, in and out of the airports. And again, a lot of that is driven by FIFA. We actually just set up a meeting yesterday with FIFA where they're coming in and we're doing an airport. We're looking at all 3 of the airports and dealing with all the different issues that go with that, from charters to teams to just the normal traveler coming in. So all of this is being dealt with right now, and robust planning will take place.
Okay. Last question, I promise. I was going to ask, when will we find out which countries will be playing here in Houston?
So right now, as Bishop pointed out, there's going to be 48 teams competing in this tournament. That's up from 32. Right now, there's a qualification process going on across the world where all the countries are actually trying to qualify to be amongst the final 48. So with that said, it won't be until 2025 that all the teams have qualified, and then it's currently targeted for December of 25, where there will be a draw process, and in that process, we will learn who are the teams that are coming to Houston for games 1 through 5, right? The 3 group stage games, and then obviously the next 2, which are knockout stage games, will be determined by how well they do in the tournament once it starts. But December of 2025 is the key date for fans to get a good understanding of which countries are coming here. And to be honest with you, knowing which countries are coming here will have a big impact on what the plans look like in all the different facets, right? So it's different if we get one team versus the next. So we're all going to be preparing for all different scenarios, but it won't be until we know who's coming that actually we can set everything in place.
There's also could be a chance that Houston hosts base camps, right? So countries come in, they have their base here for 6 weeks, and they fly out from here to their different matches. So that's a possibility. We're working through some of those details. The other thing I would say is we want the fan experience, and FIFA wants the fan experience to be the same, whether a fan is coming to Houston or going to Boston. And so there will be apps, and they're in the process of developing those. They're talking to us as cities. What do we want in that app? What attractions do we want people to see? So there's a lot of coordination, but that will also help visitors to have kind of the same great fan experience across the country.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Richard Hanna with the People's News, KPFT. Chris, you know football. This is a really big event, and not compared to American football and Super Bowl and whatever. This is like 10 times bigger than that. How do you prepare for something like that? And the economic, and Reverend Bishop, the economic impact it's going to make on the different communities, especially the third world community. How can we get those communities involved with the World Cup and the economic impact? When I mean by economic impact, we talked about Montreal and the money they lost after the event was over, and what the investment was they made in it, and they lost money. And so just talk about that for a minute.
I'll let him respond to that.
So Bishop gave some numbers there in his remarks. So when the Super Bowl was here, the economic impact to our region was $347 million. That was one game with about a week's worth of events. So we got 7 matches over the course of 5 weeks. The economic impact is going to be incrementally more substantial, north of $1 billion. So that is one of the benefits to hosting this event, that our community will reap the rewards of economic impact. As a host committee, we take on the financial burden of this event. And we're in the process of raising dollars through corporate sponsorships to help cover that cost. We're doing quite well. To Janice's point, we have a city of corporate citizens who understand the value of major sporting events and the positive impact they have on this community, so they're always stepping up to support. And when you have the biggest sporting event in the world coming, that corporate support is even greater. So we're fortunate to have, again, many great partners here in Houston that are stepping up to help cover the cost. And of course, we also have support from the Major Events Reimbursement Program to help cover these costs. So we've got a great economic model to make sure that this works. And at the end of the day, we hope to portion off a good percentage of that towards legacy, towards community. So at the end of the day, we can give back. And the three main buckets of community pillars are around growing the game, human rights, and sustainability. So we've got subcommittees and working groups and experts, and there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to this to make sure that all of that is taking place and will lead to a successful outcome in the end.
We also want to make sure that whenever we're doing these large events, that our small and local businesses get a chance to bid for some things. And so I would encourage everyone to go to the Sports Authority site, Buy Houston, B-U-Y. And that is anybody that wants to register, think about it. There's a lot of events happening around this that we might need floral arrangements, we might need photographers, we might need various groups that step up and staging and fencing, and there's a lot of things that go into putting on a big event like this. So we encourage people to be part of that list so that we can pump out those opportunities to our local community whenever possible.
And I think that's one thing that's commendable about what our team generally does for these large events, making sure that small businesses have access to information, and doing a great job of that is superb. And Houston has proven that over and over again. I think this is going to be a great opportunity for many businesses to participate as well. We want to commend that. Are there any other questions?
I'm sorry, I just want to add one other thing is also on the NRG Park website through HCSCC, we do have an extensive hub program as well. So any small businesses can also go to our website if they want to do work out at NRG Park that will translate into a few things that FIFA may ask us to execute on their behalf for the event, but not just the FIFA World Cup, any event that we do out here. So along with the Bye Bye Houston, HCSCC has got a program as well. So we encourage any and all businesses to register for that as well.
And thank you for putting that out, Leah. And this is our normal way of doing business. In fact, this is not something we're doing just because we have the big event. This is the way our corporation operates on a day-to-day basis, 365. So it's not new for us. We're just making it happen on a larger scale for this 7 Super Bowl kind of experience that we're going to bring into Houston for this.
Hi guys, Daisy Rios with Univision here in Houston. 3 questions. Basically, the first one, and this is because, of course, I mean, we have an idea that a lot of people coming from Latin America and other countries visiting Houston. Do you guys have an approximate or an estimate about the number of people that will attend events? That's first. Second, about prices, because people had to stick to a budget, especially lately, no? Also, the last question, and that's in regards of public safety. When it comes about these events, I'm assuming there's a lot of attention towards that topic.
All right, let me try to tackle all 3 of those. We don't have specific numbers in terms of the actual visitors that will come into the region. We do know it's going to be substantial, that people do travel for the World Cup in masses. I can tell a little bit of a story to help answer that question. I was on a recent call with FIFA, and we were dealing with hotels, and they told a story about how Peru was playing in a far remote city in Russia, and 40,000 Peruvians went from Peru to this far remote city in Russia to be there, while only 14,000 of them had tickets to the match. So that just gives you an illustration of how big this event is, how exciting this event is, and to your point, we are the most accessible city to South and Central America in North America. So, again, a lot of it depends on which teams we get, but we do expect there to be an influx of visitors into our city, and just, in a very exciting time and a celebration of our sport, and a great moment in time and opportunity for our region. As to, what was the second question? Prices. Oh, yes. So all ticketing is controlled by FIFA. So that's not done by the host committee or anybody here in Houston. Fans can go to FIFA.com/tickets, and they can pre-register to be on the list to buy tickets at this point. But prices haven't been set up yet, and perhaps maybe later this year the pricing structure is revealed and tickets go on sale. But that, again, not necessarily clear on that exactly yet. As far as safety and security, that's the #1 priority. This, again, is the largest sporting event in the history of the world. We need to take the utmost precautions in place to make sure that this is a safe event, not only here but across North America. And this is one of those events where the highest levels of government are involved from the top down in the planning process. And as a host city, we're working with all those different officials and agencies from local to federal. FIFA is highly involved in this as well, to ensure that we have the most safe event possible and the best outcome.
And to add to that, we encourage people that want to volunteer to do so early, so that, because there are background checks and different things that we go through, but it's a very fun gig to do. So we give lots of swag, and it's going to be fun for all Houstonians. So we encourage anybody that wants to volunteer to get signed up early.
To add on to what Chris says, obviously a facility of this size and the nature of events that we do, we're in regular contact and communication with all levels of public service and public safety. So this is nothing new for us, being in contact with state, local, federal officials to make sure that this is the safest event that we can possibly have.
Just to add to that, we've had incidents in Russia, and we had incidents in Europe last year where people just showed up. Are you planning? How are you planning for that? Because that can be a big problem. People without tickets showing up.
Sure.
Yeah, so I think I I think I know which incidents you're referring to, but won't take for granted that I do. There's going to be a significant perimeter set up around this stadium. The security measures that are put in place for the FIFA World Cup are going to be unlike anything you've seen at other events here. If you've been to other World Cups, you kind of have an idea of what I'm talking about. But completely different standards on how the ticketing is done, how the tickets are distributed, knowing who's coming, creating a distance between the stadium and the gates, right, where you can't have this mad rush like you're referring to. So substantial precautions are being taken, and Leah and her team are involved in that now. Those discussions are going on in terms of how all that takes place. But again, we're in the very early stages of working all that out.
Any other questions?
Have a couple more. Has it been determined yet where the Fan Fest is going to be held, or is that still kind of in the works?
We've got ideas identified. We're working through those to find the right place, and ultimately it will require FIFA's approval. But that is one of the things that we will 100% finalize this year, hopefully sooner than later. And when we do, it'll be an announcement that we make.
We're also working with security on that to make sure it's the safest place possible for everyone to gather.
And then also, besides the installation of the field, is there any other renovations or as far as capacity for the stadium itself? I've kind of heard that there may be some seats that need to be removed, or possibility of adding more seats for the games.
You want me to answer that? So first and foremost, I'll make this statement. When none of these stadiums were built for FIFA World Cups. They were all built for NFL franchises. So every single one of the stadiums where the World Cup is being played in 2026 needs to undertake some level of renovation to meet FIFA requirements. In the past World Cups, whether it be in Brazil or Russia or Qatar or South Africa, these stadiums were built specific for FIFA World Cups, right to World Cup specs. So with that being said, and while we have some work to do here, one of the reasons why I think Houston was awarded a FIFA World Cup is because this stadium is already in such good shape as it pertains to those standards. So there's very little that we have to do. The few things that we do have to do, we're talking through right now, we're working on. It could mean that we have to take some seats out in the corners to just create width. An NFL plays on a 55-yard wide field. I think the World Cup's going to be at 73. So there's just some we need to create some space perhaps. So again, those details and those plans are all being worked through at this moment. But aside from the pitch, all the other improvements will be somewhat minor in scope.
Let me say, as we conclude today, thank you again to all of our media members for being here on today, carrying this very important press announcement, and to all of our partners. We are so appreciative. Thank you, Chris and Janice, and obviously Leah and Ryan here at NRG Park. We are so appreciative for all of the teamwork. And I think it's important to note that the City of Houston and Harris County are working together on this. All levels of government are involved, all hands are on deck, and everyone has united to make sure that the world stage that Houston will be on for the length of time that this will be in process, Houston will shine, and others will say we want to become like Houston. And so we're excited about that. Let me also say again, thank you to the rodeo for allowing us to encroach upon your time as you prepare. And we want to urge all of our citizens to come out to the rodeo and be a part of the fabulous events that kicks off next week, starting with the barbecue kickoff that I'm waiting for with particular interest. But we're so excited about all that happens during the rodeo season, the concerts and the fun. And finally, I want to ask you to remember these words: Houston welcomes the world. Houston welcomes the world. That's what we'll be preparing for the 2026 World Cup. Houston will welcome the world. And those who are here personally, in person, on our campus, in our city, will understand that Houston is the hospitality capital of the world. Our people here know how to do it. Our restaurants are the finest. We got the most diverse and eclectic food in any city in the nation. We're excited about all of that. And but we want to open our arms and show the world that Houston knows how to say welcome. And I think Spanish would be bienvenido a Houston. So we're looking forward to a great experience for all who will come. Thank you very much.
That was a great way to end it.
Yes.